Now Kyle Shanahan is saying that he's open to a quarterback competition. Here's the timeline. They take Trey Lance, and John Lynch says, and Jed York, Jimmy Garoppolo could be a starter for the next 2 years. Kyle says, yeah, we really want to focus more on teaching him than him competing. Now they're saying, well, we technically installed the whole offense. He technically knows it all. And they're basically saying, well, it's the funniest thing. He's now ready to compete. We didn't anticipate it, but hey, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, first of all, when everything happened in the beginning and the way that they were talking, that's what you should say about a rookie quarterback. You don't want to put any pressure on him. There's already enough there, being that you traded all those picks to get him. And there's no reason to put more pressure on him. That being said, now that they've seen him operate and realize just how quickly he picks up this offense and how smart he is in that area, and then they see his live arm, and you've got teammates working out with him and teammates talking very highly of him, it's only a matter of time. And get on the train now. It's not too late, guys. I've been telling you for weeks. Lance will start week 1. And our head coach is now coming around to the idea that this is also a possibility. So,
and again, I saw it with Colin Kaepernick. The team just gravitated to him. They were like, you know what, Alex, we love you. You got a great story. You're a good guy. You give us a chance to win. We all think he gives us a better chance to win right now. And we're all very excited about where we can go with him and the money that he can help us make. That's the way I always interpreted it. So it's not necessarily anything personal against Jimmy, but you can sort of feel that everyone thinks that Trey Lance is going to help them make money, which is the most important thing, help them win, help them make money. But also they know he's going to be the leader of this team soon. That Jimmy Garoppolo is, you remember Back to the Future when he goes back and he keeps messing with the past and he looks at his Polaroid and his brother's disappearing. That's Jimmy. Jimmy is just like the sandals and, the shorts, and he's fading away. So you can look, Jimmy, we always loved you, but we're eventually going to have to go all in with Trey. And if he gives us any reason to think that he's close to ready, we're going to jump on that bandwagon right now.
Yeah, of course. And now he was careful to say that, hey, we anticipate Jimmy being the starter, but if he's ready to compete, he's ready to compete. It doesn't matter if he's a rookie. None of that matters. So
they can
he's still
what they want to anticipate. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If it's a competition, then anything could happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I got a question for you.
Sure.
And I know that you talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want to have the conversation. Why are you so bullish on getting rid of Jimmy if Trey Lance is the starter?
I'd get rid of him. I'd get rid of him before the season starts. As long as Trey Lance can show that he's ready enough to be serviceable, which is what Jimmy is, I'd go for it. I mean, if Jimmy were still at the same pay scale he was at 2 years ago, I would keep him. I don't think people talk enough about like the cost of these quarterbacks. It's not just how good a quarterback is, it's how much you're paying for that value.
Yeah.
And I think Jimmy Garoppolo at 8.6% of the salary cap is fair. That's a good number for him. Problem is he's at 13.5% right now because it went up. They were expecting he was going to be elite and the cap went down. And I just feel like giving one serviceable player that big of a percentage of the pie takes you out of the game. You might make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going anywhere with him taking up that space. Because even if he plays well, he's not going to play well enough for 13.5%. And if he gets hurt, now that's dead money. Now that's all money that you can't put anywhere else on your roster. I think they'd be better served, even now after Julio Jones is gone and Bashaud Breeland's gone. Get rid of Jimmy and bring in Stephon Gilmore. Bring in Melvin Ingram. There are guys out there that you could bring in, multiple guys that would make this team better. I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to argue that. When you first started saying, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, but what's the point? I mean, who's really out there to get at this late in the game? But there are guys. You're right. Yeah. There are depth pieces. There are good veterans. There are guys that, frankly, could start on this team if they are brought over. And not only has no team ever won with a quarterback making over 13%?
13.1. It was 13.1. Steve Young did it in the first year of the salary cap. Every other year since then, it's been lower.
Okay. All right. Well, to me, I mean, the sample hasn't even really started until at least year 2 in a situation like that. So we can count it. But I'm not going
Good
to.
point. Good point. Good point. Good point.
So I guess my thought about that is, if that's never been done and a rookie quarterback has never won a Super Bowl, maybe it's possible you get one of them off your back and you can make it happen. But both of them, if Lance is starting, he's a rookie, and you've got a quarterback on the team making over 13%, there's no way you're shaking
I
both
don't
of those in 1 year.
understand that. Having
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo make $27 million on the bench?
Yeah.
No, just cut him and then trade for Stephon Gilmore. Honestly, trade
Yeah.
for Stephon Gilmore. Why not? It's a
Yeah.
1-year rental.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then you can extend Warner. You can do all kind of stuff. I mean, you can really just spend irresponsibly at that point. That's the best thing about having a quarterback on a rookie scale. You just throw money around.
Well, I mean, really, even if you don't go sign players, there's a few things that you can do. I mean, you can offset future contracts. Now you can go to an Armstead and say, hey, let's front load this thing.
Yes.
You can do the same thing with trying to re-sign Warner. Yeah. Hey, let's just front load this thing. We'll make you cheap the next couple of years, whatever, however that works. But at the end of the day, you can help the team long term by letting Jimmy go. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of going over it.
Barry Baller makes a good point too. Yeah. So even if you don't get Gilmore, you just create $25 million in cap space that rolls over to next year. So
it does.
I say do it, especially if Trey Lance wins the competition.
Yeah. And that can happen next year also, Bay. But I get your point, because it's more likely this late in the game that if you cut Jimmy as we get closer to the season, that you're going to roll over a big chunk of that, and you're going to have that extra money going into the next season. Sure, you could cut him next season, and if you don't spend it all, you can roll that over as well. But the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. And I think we should explain that real quick, just real quick in layman's terms. Let's say the salary cap's $200 million, and you spend $185 million this year. You have $15 million remaining. Next year, if the cap is still $200 million, you essentially have $215 million as your cap, while everybody else is playing with $200 million. Correct. So that's what he's talking about there. I know that the salary cap can be a kind of a goofy thing to mess around with, but that's the way that it works. So
yeah. So I really think the way the Niners become a Super Bowl contender this year is for Trey Lance to show that he's a good quarterback now, that he's ready. Not great, but good. And they get rid of Jimmy, and they either replace his salary caps money with someone else.
Yeah.
I think if they could do that, they'd be a Super Bowl contender, even with a rookie. And what I want to say is, I think a rookie quarterback will win a Super Bowl before Jimmy Garoppolo wins one, taking up 13.5% of any team's cap. That's just exorbitant. Really, any quarterback. I think a rookie's going to do it before any quarterback does it at that high. Because look at it. Look at it. I mean, you have guys like Mahomes and Brady who are willing to restructure. Mahomes just restructured. He's back at 4%. That's dangerous. Brady restructures every year. He's at 5.8%. How do you compete with that? They're the best. And you got freaking Aaron Rodgers refusing to restructure, taking up 20%. Hey, Aaron, that's your freaking problem right there. That's it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I actually looked into it. Only 4 times since 1993 has a quarterback who was not Hall of Fame caliber has that quarterback won a Super Bowl. 4 times since 1993. So
it's not as simple as get a cheap quarterback.
It's not. It's not as simple as get a cheap quarterback.
You have to have a great quarterback who's affordable, which is like, hey, good luck.
But when you have guys that are already established Hall of Famers, a la Tom Brady, making rookie salary money, good luck beating that.
It's hard to compete. That's why the way I feel like the only way any team in the NFC can compete with Tampa is to have a rookie wage scale quarterback and a loaded team. And the Niners have it.
Yep.
They freaking have it. You know who else has it? Arizona. You know who else has it is New Orleans, because Taysom Hill is not expensive. So to me, it's Tampa, and then Arizona, San Francisco, New Orleans kind of lingering. I don't take Seattle or LA or the Green Bay Packers seriously. I think they're way too top heavy. Way too top heavy. So those are the teams I'm thinking. I think the Niners could be right there, but it's got to be with Trey. It's got to be with Trey, not with Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, I always take Seattle seriously just because of Russell Wilson, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, let me amend what I said.
Long term,
they're good.
Playoff ready. Yeah,
they'll win 12 games and make the playoffs, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
No, they're not. They're not. They're definitely not. The Rams, though, I still
The
think they're
Rams'
the worst team
problem
in this
is
division.
dude, the Goff dead money, man. I mean, they're
Mhm.
spending a ton of money on Goff to play for Detroit. I think they're spending more money on Goff than Detroit is.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
so yeah, they got quarterbacks on two different cities.